Welcome to Straight Out of Savannah, Talking with Tammi, a podcast that showcases people you may not know who are choosing to use their gifts to inspire and move the planet.
All right. Thank you so much for joining us on Straight Out of Savannah, Talking with Tammi. My guest is Kristina Turner, and she is freaking amazing. So she's going to tell you a little bit about herself and what it is that she does.
Hello, y'all. My name is Kristina Turner, and I am an energy healing coach. And what I do is I love to work with men and women who are trying to identify the traumas that they've experienced, the situations that they've experienced that are causing blocks in their life, that are holding them up from being the most fantastic selves that they can be. I actually work with people who have suffered from PTSD, childhood traumas, domestic abuse. We get in there and we clear away the negative emotions. We identify where the hurt began and we work from there, and then we set our goals. Because what's the point in setting goals if you're not achieving them because you don't identify where the blockage began?
That is so powerful. That is so powerful. So what put you on the path to doing this work?
My own journey with one day I woke up and I literally said, it can't be this hard. I want to be happy. How can I find joy more easier? And that led me to vision boards. It led me to affirmations. It led me to listening to affirmations on YouTube. It led me to attending psychic readings. And then it just kept going from there because I simply asked. And then I was led to a fantastic mentor who helped me to reawaken my intuition. And once I did that, the floodgates opened. And I was able to start identifying where my hurt was, where back in childhood, back in infancy, once those floodgates opened, everything that I needed to advance myself and to find out why I was myself blocked began showing up in my life. And I know that they refer to that oftentimes as shadow work, but baby, let me tell you, that's some deep in the forest work that you're doing, just one thing coming up and tackling it. And then I realized that even though as I was identifying where the hurt began, I wasn't healing that hurt in a way that helped propel me forward. So in other words, I realized that even though I identified the hurt and I went back and forgave the person, I understood the damage was already done subconsciously. Mm-hmm. So subconsciously, I would try to do something and my beautiful, brilliant mind would try to block me because it identified that risk of pain, of hurt, of embarrassment from something that happened back in my childhood, back in my infancy, back in my teenage years, back in my young adulthood. And so I started learning the subconscious release technique to change those negative emotions into positive emotions. And then I applied what, let's say, spirit and the universe blessed me with, those gifts to be able to go in and heal that inner child, do the womb work to heal my soul, and be able to touch myself spiritually, my mind. And it just started snowballing from there again, where it was like, okay, if I'm going through this, I know others are going through this. Yes. And I want to help people understand. I want to help people awaken to what is stopping you from achieving fulfillment and living an aligned and beautiful and joyful life. So it just started going from there, with psychic readings, with intuitive readings, with energy healing. And you know how it is.
No.
It's like, okay, what else do I have? And then my gifts just kept flowing to me. They just kept reawakening. And as people came to me, I would receive messages for them, and they would be helpful to them. So it was just something that kind of grew out of a question.
Wow.
And here I am.
Wow. Did you have training in those areas, or was that gifted to you from God?
So with the subconscious release technique, I did have training, and I'm currently seeking certification in that to become certified in subconscious release technique, but you can still utilize it with helping clients. Certification is a title. It's nice to have, but it
Yes,
doesn't stop the gift.
absolutely.
And with understanding intuitive development, I did get the introduction to that with Asaki Kai from Kai Academy. Was a wonderful mentor. And from there, it just, different things I just started seeking. I just started saying, okay, I want to hear, I want to see. What is that aroma? What is that? That's something similar, and it's like, okay, who's baking cookies? Or someone I'd be talking to, and I would smell like apple pie or something like that. And it's like, my grandmother always baked apple pies. It's like, okay. So training, yes, but it came from the universe.
Oh, yes.
It came from spirit with opening up the channel, leading me to where I needed to go to get the information, sharing with other people, just getting those messages and tapping in. And it just, if you ask, it's given.
Yeah.
Certain things I asked for, and I was given. You can't really train to be able to talk to animals, but that was one of the things that I was blessed with. And it's really strange, but it's like, how do you teach that? So those are the types of things. It's like, yeah, that's a gift.
Right.
That's the reason why they call it that.
I'm so excited because just to hear, and we're going to get into this, just to be able to talk to people of color about this. And let's dive into what kind of religious upbringing did you have?
Ooh, Church of God in Christ.
Cogent.
I think it was Pentecostal. I don't know. It's all a blur.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily a blur. It was just a painful time in my life, not because of religion, but because kids are mean.
Gotcha. Yeah.
And that was also part of my healing journey. So it's not necessarily, I'm aware of it, but Refreshing Spring Church, God in Christ, a wonderful pastor, Pastor Georgetta Dixon, loved her dearly. So I had that coming up. We were in church on Sundays. We weren't in church, it wasn't Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday,
No, that was me.
There were 7 of us. There were 7 of us. And so getting us to church on Sunday was enough for my mother.
I can imagine.
That was enough. And that was it. We went to church, we sat there, we listened, and then we left. When I went on to college, I was baptized and joined a Baptist church. And that was when I was in Philly. And then when I moved down south, that what else is there in Georgia? Everywhere you turn. Mm-hmm. So
they like liquor stores on every corner.
First Baptist first church. But I have, I've gone to other churches, of course, but along the way, but it wasn't really it was just something you just knew. I mean, you're a Christian. That was it. Any gifts you had, if you weren't in church and of the church, then they were shut down.
Oh yeah.
So as
That.
a person of color, a woman of color, when I expressed to my family that Tia, who had died the night before, came to me and told me that she was okay and that we were going to be okay and she wasn't in pain anymore. Um, you know what happens? That got shut down.
It wasn't received well, was it?
It's just like, that's nice, honey, pat pat pat, and that's it. And or talking to people, talking to my brothers, getting the answer, and it's like, you're a know-it-all. You don't know what you're talking about. You don't, that type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So it was, and then them being backed up by my mother, not in a bad way, but just like, just mind your place, because I was the youngest, the second youngest, so it's just mind your place, mind your elders type of thing. And I didn't really step away from the church when I reawakened my gifts. It was just something where it was like, okay, I would go to church, and it was like, y'all just don't know how many angels are actually flying around in this church. And you get up, you give the hug and everything, the greeting hug, and it's like you feel that person's energy, and it's like being able, all of a sudden, it's like I recognizing who's going through what, and wanting to give the word to them, wanting to give them a message of encouragement. But you can't, because you have to mind your place, because if it's not coming from a position in that church, then it's not for
Then
you
you
to
out
say.
of order.
Yeah. Unless you go through the ranks properly,
Mm-hmm.
you must not speak
Right.
of those things. So I still enjoy going to church for the music.
Oh my goodness.
But we got to get off of that.
Yep. I always tell people, I said, I'm a God girl. I
Yeah,
love
yeah,
God. I love
absolutely.
Jesus is my main man.
Absolutely.
But
Talked to him 2 months ago.
and I don't have to, I don't really have to do that. I'm good. Yeah.
Mm. Yeah. Yeah.
Ah. So when you do your work, because this is something that I've been wanting to ask somebody.
Mm-hmm.
I don't always think about it when I'm talking to people that are in this field, but when
Mm-hmm.
you do your work, um, how are you received by the people of color, the Black and brown people?
Well, I have found a way to where they are. The people who understand, the people who are also flowing in spirituality. By the way, if you're asking if you're in the middle of a spiritual awakening or if it's time for a spiritual awakening, it is, because you're asking that question for a reason. So they tend to find me. I have not had anyone express, what I was doing was evil, yet. But if that happens, then I will do what I've been taught to do, and that is leave it alone.
Yes.
That's not my ministry,
No.
because you obviously feel that your ministry is to guard against, guard your religion, and that's fine.
Right.
That's for you. But I haven't had too much resistance, because the people who seek me out know what I do.
Yeah.
And that's also one of the requirements when you're working with me one-on-one, is that you're open to receiving information from different modalities, spiritual modalities, that
Yes.
you're open to receiving information and answers from different sources, meaning spiritual, divine, universal, celestial,
Yeah.
whatever it is. That's a requirement with working with me, because I will not quiet my gifts. I will not quiet the message.
Mm.
Um, but it is something that I love the fact that people are more receptive to it.
Yes.
I love the fact that more people are opening up and allowing themselves to reconnect with their their birthright. No, I mean it's just something. It's from the moment you are conceived. It's given to you.
Yes.
And having people understand that is very important to me. Having people understand that you don't have to struggle through this walk. You're not by yourself. And I think, and also that the whole thing with the religious guilt or the responsibility of maintaining that, the Christianity, the religion, um, there are more people that come to me in anonymous or secrecy.
Yes.
They want healing, they want understanding, but it's something. There's always that disclaimer.
Yes.
I'm a God-fearing woman. I'm within the church, of the church. I believe in God. I do too. I absolutely believe in God.
Yes.
They're a follower of the word. I absolutely understand that. Are you open to receiving gifts, not gifts, but divine answers? That's all. That's all I need to know. Because if you're open, then I can help you.
Yeah.
So it is. I hope that more people come out of the spiritual closet.
Yes. I agree with you.
Because we're needed, especially people of color, men and women of color.
Yes, because it is time.
It is.
Because we've been in the closet for so long, even though I believe that we've always been here. I just believe that, we've been in the closet and we've been behind the veil, so to speak. And but we've been here because there was always that person. Even growing up, I can remember, that was different. And they saw things and they would say they had gifts.
Yep.
And then in the church, you go to the church and they say, oh, well, if you see things, you have gifts, then you're a prophetess. Yeah, so that's definitely
that's you have to have that title, that prophetess title. And that really, I'm not taking anything away from people in those positions in church.
No,
but there's not enough room in the church for all of the other prophetesses and prophets that are actually sitting in the congregation.
Yeah.
Because it's that, and that's, and when you're sitting there in the congregation and you're getting a message. And and she's giving that message. And another thing, I'll go this far to say, it is because you are spiritually open to receive that he or she are able to actually deliver that message to you.
Right.
It is because you are open. Your crown is open to receiving that. So I want us to get to the point where we start acknowledging that.
Yes.
That people are spiritually blessed and gifted from childhood, and even a prophet or a prophetess that is speaking to someone or over congregations because it is lit up.
Yes.
Not because they are only just seeing and they're only getting this information. No, they're getting this information from their guides, but also your people are speaking to them. And if your people are speaking to them, then they're also speaking to you. You have the ability to hear that just as they do. So I want more people to understand that.
I was going to say that is exactly that's you and I have so similarly aligned missions, as you said.
We do.
And I'm so loving that we're having this conversation because I've been wanting to have it for so long.
It's long overdue.
I was at first afraid to even approach you. And then
I don't understand that because I'm sitting back like, man, Tammi is magnificent. Wow, I gotta get myself up so I can just say, hello, Miss Ma'am.
And that's exactly how I felt about you. I was like,
I appreciate that.
This conversation. I said, but you know what? I said, I'm just gonna send her a message. And then I didn't. And then my guys were like, I thought you were gonna send her a message. All right, let me get on it.
Get on it. And then what happened? See, what happened was I was sitting there and they were like, you gonna schedule it? Yeah, I've been talking about how you're gonna do it. You gonna schedule it? I'm not ready. I don't know what to say. I don't have my public speech together yet. I've seen your other guests and they are phenomenal. And it's like, I don't know. And they were just like, you will never figure it out. My guides, my people are really brutal sometimes because it's like, okay, you're never gonna figure it out if you don't start. If you don't start talking, you don't start sharing your story. So, I know that we've talked earlier about some of the things we've been through, and there are so many others that have gone through exactly what we've gone through, and they need to know that they're not alone. They need to know that they can come out of trauma, they can come out of abuse, they can come out of alcoholism, drug addiction, and not just attack it from the point of, I'm not going to do it anymore. I've said no for this long. I don't have to continue saying, but understand why you did it in the first place.
Yes.
Because it wasn't just, I was just curious. There was a reason why you were curious. There was a reason why you weren't satisfied with whatever was going on in your life. There was a reason why you wanted to resist what was going on in your life. There's a reason why you wanted to reach out and be connected with other people. There's a reason for all of that. And understanding the reason behind it is what helps to truly heal the trauma, to truly heal that hold that it has. So you're not just fighting against it. You embrace the fight because you recognize it. Call it by its name.
Yes.
Name your hurt. Is it procrastination? Is it promiscuity? Is it picking the wrong relationship? Whatever it is, name your hurt. What else has it brought into your life? How does it continue to revisit and show up? And that is something that I have embraced that I can do. And it's very hard for me to accept that, because that's a very hefty responsibility and I do not enter into it lightly, but I do it with a full army on my shoulders, on my back, protecting me, helping me. I don't know if your spiritual team named themselves, but mine have decided to call themselves the Cape Crusaders. And I love that because that's what they are. They literally have pulled me out of darkness over and over and over and over and over again, because it's taken decades to get to where I am. Mm-hmm. And I'm wanting to unwrap everything. And it's like, come on, it's 20. Let's go. Can we do this in 6 months? Mm-hmm. Most of it, please.
Mm-hmm. You want to say, can we chill for a minute?
Well, yeah, that too. It's like it's raining again. Yeah.
Because I don't know about you, but I'm feeling like I'm on a mission. Mm-hmm. It's like I'm on a mission. I'm on this mission, and I laugh about it because I think about the Blues Brothers. I'm on a mission from God.
That's what it feels. It has to be. It's not for you. It's not your own mission. It's not the Tammi Morrison mission.
No.
It's God sponsored.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. And it just feels like, I have to do this thing, and even if I don't know if you have had this experience, but even if I don't really understand what the fuck it is I'm doing.
I know, because
what does that have to do with anything?
Why do I gotta talk to animals, God? And then not only that, it's well, I got to see people. And I will tell you that I have never seen what you see in the movies, which is I grew up on all those horror movies and everything. And so I've never seen that. There's never been anybody who's appeared to me like that. But it's like, I need to see them in the daylight hours, not in the shadow, in the dark, please. And that's another thing that if that is happening to somebody out there, just know that you can make those requests. You can let them know. And if something is bothering you, just say, no, we don't do that. This is sleep time. It's time for you to go. Get out of my room. And they will. They will. And if they don't, then you show them the window.
So that's the next thing we're going to talk about for a couple of minutes.
Okay.
Boundaries. Now, a lot of times people don't realize, especially in this spiritual, mystic arena, whatever we're calling it, that you can set boundaries. And not only can you set them with living people, but you can set them with spirits. You can set them with your spiritual team, with your guides. Mine is called the Hathor Collective because it's run by the goddess Hathor and Isis.
Love it. Those my people.
Right?
Love my people. Horus and Ra. I am a brother of Ra. Okay.
So they don't realize that you can set boundaries with everything, instead of just allowing yourself to be tossed to and fro and all that kind of stuff. And I don't know why this is. Why are we not being taught? Because that's what I feel like. It's like we're not being taught. People are not talking about it. When people are doing these programs and all this stuff, a lot of them, there's no talk about boundaries.
Well, right now there's the boundary of teaching people how to set boundaries with humans. And a lot, I don't know why that's not being taught. It was made aware to me. And like I said, with my mentor, that it was just one of those things. It's like, because the minute I accepted the reawakening, it started coming at me really, really fast. And it was just one of those things. It's like, okay, my ears are ringing and I'm trying to sleep. Or why am I hearing birds and things talking or whatever? What's all the ruckus? And or when I started feeling energetic responses to things, that's when it was made clear that, okay, we're going to set a contract. Okay, what do you want your guides to do? But I've learned just by talking to my Cape Crusaders that you set those boundaries. And if you have children, then let them know. Teach them early how to set those boundaries, because children are wide open. I know we try to stop that. Adults try to stop them from seeing, but children are wide open.
Yes,
and empower them with teaching them how to set the boundaries. It's like, okay, guys, you had all day to talk to me. It's time for bed. Let's go. Get my protector, post up at the door, whatever you got to do. But those are the types of things that a lot of times you experiment with. I've done different things, from using a pendulum to using selenite to using sage to using incense to just opening up the door and telling people to get the fuck out. It's time to go. It's time to go. Because when things like that happen and they're causing a ruckus with you spiritually or emotionally, it's time for them to go. They're not there for you. They're there to disrupt, not necessarily in a malevolent way, but they're there to disrupt. I don't know why that's not taught, because there are so many practitioners out there who are teaching intuitive development, and that should be part of their curriculum.
Yep, absolutely. I agree completely.
Yep.
All
So
right.
so let's do it, Tammi.
Yeah, that's what we got to do. And it's funny because that is something that I talk about all the time. I'm like, you got to have some boundaries.
Yeah.
Boundaries. What is the goddess Ishtar? Boundaries.
Boundaries.
No, we got to
Boundaries.
have some
I
boundaries.
I have I have frequency. A lot of I hear frequencies. And so I've just recently identified a new frequency that comes from the light back into the dark, back into the light. That's beyond our um, galaxy and then
Mhm.
into another galaxy. And identifying that frequency, I know now whenever my right ear rings what that is. And I have asked that frequency to let me sleep. And even though the ringing in my ear is urgent, um, because I've asked them to let me sleep, I'm assisted with that. So what they're doing is they're working on me. They're giving me messages. This frequency is part of my new healing that I'm doing on myself. And it's just something that they're downloading information to me. So
That's nice.
it's just so I know that the presence is there. And then I have other frequencies that ring the left ear. And then, you know all the things that they put us through.
I do.
And sometimes they don't listen. But if it's your own people, the reason why they're not listening is because they have something urgent for you to listen to. So if you're trying to go to sleep, maybe they need you to sit up and journal.
Yes.
They have something for you.
Yes.
So don't ignore that. Just give them 15, 20 minutes.
Yes.
And what do you have? And just start writing it down, or just start thinking, what do you have? What do you have? Is it this? Is it this? Is it this? And you will eventually come upon enough that it will subside for you. I had to learn that. It took me years to learn that. Nobody teaches you that. And that was another brief thing. We don't really talk enough as a spiritual community. Talk to one another to say, what are you teaching your students? What are you teaching your clients? What are you teaching? What are you talking about? What's hot in these spiritual streets that we need to start addressing, especially as people of color?
Because people are afraid. They're afraid somebody's gonna steal their stuff, or somebody took
Isn't that
their thing, and it's crazy. Or no, wait, here's the one. Somebody's gonna steal their clients
I have gone to
because of
I
a
have gone
post.
to so many different people because I want to experience different things from different people.
Right.
Um, it's not, if that client is going to leave, they're going to leave anyway. And if they're leaving, it's because they need something else from someone else. So I've seen that. I've seen coaches or healers give clients just enough so that they remain dependent on them. That's not what I'm trying to do. That's not what I'm trying to
Bullshit.
do. It's you get in, get the healing, and graduate and get on. And but the thing is that people come back because there is always something there that gets uncovered. And I always say, may whoever is meant to be for me find me.
Yes.
And that's all I need.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I need. Tammi, you found me.
Yep.
It's I can't even put into words. You sharing your story has helped me open up to understanding how I need to share mine.
Mm.
So I'm so grateful for you. And that's what I mean. If we just go through life, what is meant for us will never pass us by.
Yes.
That's enough.
And you know what? That is so amazing that you say that, because that's exactly how I feel. And I feel like if I can help you, I'm gonna help you.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna ever hurt you. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Because
Yeah.
that's just, I don't understand that. And
Yeah.
I know that we have that issue, especially in the people of color community.
We
And I
do.
don't know what that's about. I mean, I do know. I know
Yeah,
it's
you do know, and it's not
man,
something that we imprinted on ourselves by ourselves.
exactly. And I do. However, it's like, can we get the fuck over it and move
Yeah,
on?
and move on.
Can we
Move
come
on.
together? Can we support each other? And I
Mhm.
just, I don't be understanding that. And And I know that for me, because I've always been kind of black sheepish and all this kind of stuff, and I have always had a Pollyanna type of, outlook about things,
Yeah. Yeah.
I understand that. And even as I've aged, it's funny because my husband always says, he said, I love you. He said, because you have such a pure heart.
Oh.
You never lost your childhood innocence. And I thought,
Yes.
that's awesome because all the shit I've been through.
Yes, but see, that's what I'm talking. What woodpeckers? The woodpeckers came and they were huge, and I just the inner child, the child of me, not the inner child, the child of me just geeked out over it. It doesn't matter. It does. That's what I'm. Those are the type of things I'm talking about. Like I get excited about things like that. I get excited about sprinkles on my ice cream. I get excited about
Yes.
a squirrel watching. I get excited about chipmunks still.
Yeah.
Or vultures. Where I'm down in Georgia, so I get excited about seeing buzzards and vultures. I didn't get to see that growing up in New York. That's on TV. Baby bunny rabbits. I get excited about seeing people expressing themselves with their wear and their hair and everything like that. It's that kind of joy. It's like, may that never leave me, because this life is hard as fuck because we make it. But it's like, until we realize that we weren't put on this earth to get the biggest car in the house. That's not what we were created for. Until that starts sinking home for us. And that's why I love millennials and the Zers and all that, because they are getting it.
The thing about them is they not playing.
No, they're not playing. My son is not playing.
I was gonna say, yeah.
They'll
live 5 and 10 in a house. They'll live 5 and 10 in a house.
Yeah.
While they're chasing their dreams.
They sure will.
And they're not gonna be out here buying these $1,000 phones and they're going on eBay and things for $200.
They're okay. Because they'd rather have the money to do the joyful things, go-karts and go on trips and things like that. They understand that. Yeah. And I'm so grateful that I have a Gen Zer and a Gen Xer, whatever, that it helps keep me young. So it keeps me on my toes.
I think Gen X is us.
Well, okay, what is it, Gen Z or millennial? I don't know.
Millennial and Gen Z, I think. I got millennials because my youngest will be 30.
Oh, yeah, because baby boomers are above us. Poor baby boomers. They're getting such hell. It's just like, come on.
I know it's hard to keep up with that stuff.
It is.
I think I talked to so many of them, and I talked to so many different age people, and I love doing that.
Yeah.
I love talking to the young ones, the older ones, ones in between our age. I love that. It's so much fun because you learn so much from different people and different, age groups and stuff. As well as, I like talking to the LGBTQ community as well.
Yeah, I love it. That's whoever is for me, may they find me. That is my mantra. Do no harm, and whoever is for me, that may they find me. Okay. And it doesn't matter what, if it's it doesn't matter the trauma that they've experienced, because that was something, when you're talking about the children of today, the younger people of today, they're still experiencing the same traumas that we went through. And that's what we really need to take a healthy look at it, and understand that that's why we're still needed.
Yes.
They're still experiencing the bullying. They're still experiencing the abuse. They're still experiencing the demands put on them, even though they're fighting against it. There's stress and trauma that's being caused in that by them just saying, let me be me.
Yes.
And society continuing to tell them, no, you can't just be you. You have to carry on the family name, or you have to hold up society. Yes. And it's just like there's still trauma being inflicted on people.
Yeah.
That really upsets me. It's like, how have we not learned this yet?
Yes. It don't make no damn sense, really, when you think about it. It's like, what is really going on?
Yeah.
And so you're right. It's like
Anxiety, suicide, it's still there.
they're killing themselves.
They're not putting it on themselves.
And
That's,
you know what?
that's us.
Our kids are killing themselves.
Yes.
We
Yes.
never did.
Yes.
You know, and it's like, you know, because we look and we're like, what?
What? Yeah. And what do the parents always say? We didn't know. And so there's a huge disconnect. So it's like being someone that children can come to, especially in the healing world, being someone that they can come to, someone that they can trust, and being able to give them the information and helping them understand that they're not alone, and helping them build trust and seeking out proper medical mental health professionals, because it has to start somewhere, you know, and it's even the inner voices that they hear, that's enough to drive someone just crazy. It's maddening. Sometimes the noise is so loud with the information that we're getting. It's so loud that it's like, this would be maddening to anyone else.
I actually experienced that. And I thought that I was losing my damn mind. I did. And you know, for me, I worked in mental health for a lot of years. And I actually was working in admissions, which was funny. That's why I was laughing, because I would have to ask people, are you hearing things that, you know, other people don't hear? Are you seeing things other people don't see? And I was doing this in Arizona, and you know, it's a huge native population.
Oh.
And so we would have to deal with a lot of that. And so and they would look at me crazy at first. And then I believed that they would see, you know, that I could see them. And they would say, oh, you know, yeah. And I said, well, it's not a bad thing, you know. And I said, are they telling you, you know, to hurt yourself or do bad things or whatever? And they're like, no. And one guy told me, he said, my spirits have been talking to me since I was a child.
Yes.
You know, and so I got to see a lot of that, you know, but those are the questions that we have to ask them.
Yeah, you do have to ask. It really gave me much more compassion and empathy for those who are misunderstood. So when I started hearing for the first time, I remember going to, it doesn't matter, going to a store, and I remember seeing a woman outside talking to herself with her cart. She was obviously homeless, and it was just like, holy shit, she's probably really talking to people
that nobody else is seeing.
Nobody's hearing, but because someone has told her that she's crazy, she doesn't know. She was never given the tools she needed to understand how to work with the voices that she's hearing. I understand schizophrenia is something completely different. I understand
right.
that.
Yeah, we're not talking about that.
But we're not talking about that. We're talking about getting information from your people, from your guides that are there, whether you see them or not.
Yes.
Whether you believe in them or not, they are there, and having those conversations.
Yes.
That's on a whole nother level. And so especially being down here in Atlanta with the homeless population, and I see it, and it's like I have a completely different, I have a newfound respect for what they're going through. Let's just start there.
Right.
You know, because they're misunderstood, or they weren't given the information, they weren't given the training, or someone told them early on that they were crazy.
Or they're super traumatized.
And they were traumatized.
Mm-hmm. So what do you see going forward for your business in the future?
Well, in the future, I see myself holding retreats where people come to receive energy healing. And I've always seen myself within a circle of people, and we're exchanging that healing energy. And then we're also doing things like Reiki sessions and of course, spiritual coaching and things of that nature. So that is something that I keep my eye on, because if it's in my future, then that means it's in my now.
Yes.
So just folding time to bring it to me, and folding space and time to bring it to me. That is, I won't say it's the ultimate goal, but I'm excited to get to that point. Right now, I am in the process of launching a 5-week intensive where I'll take people one-on-one coaching once a week, hourly. They get to meet with me to uncover all those things that we talked about earlier, to help them live a more aligned, a more calm, a more elevated life, a more elevated existence. And so that's what's directly ahead for me. And I haven't really said it publicly, but my Capes Crusaders are like, talk about your program, talk about your program. Let's go, let's get in there. So that's what I'm doing. I'm taking people along a 5-week intensive, transformative intensive, to uncover those blocks, to heal the hurt, to name the hurt, and to open up and awaken their intuition, to help them discover their gifts, to help them heal from anxiety and release anxiety, because I also suffer from anxiety.
Yes.
And that was a journey that I was taken on. So I have developed some fantastic skills, a particular set of skills.
Yeah. That was my first thought. I love movies, girl. Movies and music.
That's all I needed. But that's how I feel. I feel badass being able to say that, that I've developed those skills. And it's just, it's like, I'm ready to get started. I'm ready to start this next adventure with healing and helping people. It's what I was created to do. It's what I've always done.
Yes.
I've always worked in that kind of field where I was helping people. I've gotten in trouble for that quite a few times, for helping people more than I was the company. But starting on that, it's just really exciting. I'm really excited to see where that's going to take others, and where it's going to take me, and where it's going to lead.
So is it going to be like a group program, or is it just?
No, this is one-on-one.
Oh,
this is one-on-one coaching. You get me for 1 hour a week. Okay. No, we're not. It's and the reason why, Tammi, is because I help people who are recovering or suffering or dealing with some very heavy and serious traumas.
Yeah.
And so I want them to feel comfortable with that.
Yeah.
I have helped people who have experienced assault and from infancy. I've helped people who have suffered from PTSD. So it's a very intimate walk that they're on. And so I want to make sure that they're comfortable and that they really have that type of healing. So for now, we're just doing the one-on-one coaching to get me started. So it's 1 hour a week with me. We also have worksheets and things that you'll be required to do. And so it's really 2 hours with me, because I'm going to be reviewing that and helping you get through some things and help you sort things out. But yeah, one-on-one. That's why I'm only taking 5 people, because it's 5 hours a week, and that's heavy energy, moving and shifting. And trust me, believe me, I hope anyone who is watching this, that you understand that you will receive energetic shifts and transformational shifts in your life through this intensive. This is not something where you're just going to come in and say, I need help losing weight. This is something you are going to come in and understand what is stopping you from starting that journey. What happened that stopped you? It's not about motivation. I want to make that very clear. It's not about motivation with that.
No.
There is a determination factor that goes into it, but there is a reason why it all happened in the first place. And it's not just my whole family's big. This happened to my whole family. There's something else there.
It's in your DNA for sure.
Yeah. You don't have to claim that. Stop claiming that.
Right.
You can be the one that it didn't affect, that it doesn't affect.
That's what I claim.
Just change your story.
That's what I claim. I mean,
that's okay. Me too.
Diabetes all around my family. Am I going to have it? Hell no.
Nope. I'm not going to suffer. I am going to remain healthy, healthy, on fire, sexy, and helping people.
That's right.
Period.
That is the name of the game.
That's the name of the game.
All right. Well, we have done this thing. This has been so much fun. Oh my God. I wish we could talk longer, but
we'll come back. I'll come back and I'll be able to share some of the things that I've discovered with working with people, and I'm sure something else is going to open up for us to talk about.
Well, you know what I was thinking? We could actually just jump on and do some lives. That's what I was thinking.
Oh, that would be great. Oh, that would be awesome. Let's do that.
So let the people know how they can connect with you. Where can they?
You can connect with me. On Instagram, I'm at Coach Chrissy's Corner. That's at CoachChrissyscorner at Chrissy's Corner. On Facebook, I'm at Kristina Turner, Intuitive Transformational Coach. To work with me, you can reach me at bit.ly/implement healing. And that is bit.ly/IMPLEMENTHEALING.
Nice. So all that's going to be in the description too, y'all.
Yes.
So we'll have all that, her bio as well, as where you can connect with her, because I know after you've listened to this, you're going to want to connect with her.
I'm so excited.
She's on fire. And she doesn't have a particular person that she works with. She just works with
men, women, children.
Healed.
Men, women, and children.
Of life and, whatever. People that need healing and that are open to healing and are ready to invest in their healing. Right?
You got it.
All right.
You summed it up better than I could have. Thank you.
I've been thinking about that. So I'm glad that you've watched and that you've enjoyed us or listened, because, I am on Anchor FM and Spotify, as well as a whole bunch of other platforms, Apple, Google. So anywhere that you're listening, I so much appreciate that you have. And I know that you're going to reach out to Miss Chrissy, because this has been so much fire. There have been so many nuggets here. I'm just like, oh my God, I got whole pages full of notes myself. And so,
thank you so much for creating this opportunity. No, thank you. I truly respect all the work that you're doing, and it's the reason why I agreed to come on, because we are so aligned with our missions. I know we're going to continue to work together in the future. Thank you so much for listening and bearing with me, and
it's been so much fun. And I know that everyone else is just like banging from this, because this is like, oh my God, I've been waiting for this all day, y'all. Took a good hot bath and relaxed. And
that's it. That's what I said. How am I going to come down after talking to him? Because I already knew. My people were like, I'm letting you know.
Right. And look at y'all. Look at her, y'all. She is just glowing.
I am glowing. I just noticed that. That's why I said, healthy, sexy, and blessed.
Absolutely. So thank you again for joining us on Straight Out of Savannah, Talking with Tammi. Make sure that you like, share, and subscribe if you're watching this on YouTube. And if you're listening to it, do the same. And make sure you let other people know that they should listen to Straight Out of Savannah, Talking with Tammi. And so until next time, bye now. All right.
I know you've been blown away with the amazing value here today. Now go out and inspire the planet. And be sure to send us a message when you're ready to come talk about it on Straight Out of Savannah, Talking with Tammi.